Stop it by changing the law. We stopped it by getting people really mad and getting them out. And we just savaged the people who were promoting these things, and we got the folks in the community really agitated, and we encouraged them to come out, and they showed up at the meetings, and they yelled and they screamed, and they had signs, and they were screaming in every language imaginable. Southern California, and the city council members are sitting there like deers in the headlight. That's how that stuff gets changed. And I think if the public was angry, and we should be angry, and channel that anger into productive, reasonable, into showing up at city council. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what the civics textbooks tell us we're supposed to do. And realize that most of the game's rigged, right? Most of the city council's decisions, 95% of the decisions made before it even gets to the public meeting. That's so. So it's a tough road to change things, but political action usually, and I think political action, direct political action probably does more than spending all your time trying to get the right people elected. I mean, especially here in the Bay Area, I mean, you spend several eternities trying to get normal people elected to Congress or the Assembly, and it's just never going to happen. You're just outnumbered. And but showing up in meetings and making common cause with people who don't necessarily believe in you, believe in the same things you believe in. I don't believe that what our goal as liberty-oriented people is to go out there and convert everyone to our side, and then we'll have a majority of liberty-oriented people, and then we'll start doing good things. I mean, that would be nice, but it ain't going to happen. What we do is we take it issue by issue, and you find people who agree with you seriously on that issue, even if they have a different philosophy. So, one example, I'm going back to the property rights issue, where you can have probably more direct impact on things. A lot of the groups that fought some of these takings and some of these redevelopment projects, that were in many cases they were Hispanic business owners and community activists who didn't want to see their neighborhoods bulldozed so that there could be more Starbucks and Quiznos and condos for government workers, and conservative business owners, and some of us libertarian kooks, but a group of people who didn't agree on a lot of other stuff. But we were all in agreement that these government plans were really bad. So that's what you got to do. And on this, I make common cause with these liberals like Jeff Hadachi's a great guy over in San Francisco. We'll argue another day about how big the city budget ought to be. And I'll probably always lose. It's San Francisco. But the point is, we're in agreement that the pensions are out of control, and it's harming the delivery of public services. So you make common cause with whoever you can make common cause. Yep.
I was reading an article about this Plunder issue a while ago, actually a couple days ago, and it mentioned that FDR back in the day was against giving collective bargaining rights to public employees because he recognized the perverse incentives that are involved. But it gradually changed. I mean, the article mentioned sometime in the 50s, some New York mayor granted this, that, and just kind of went from there. Do you have a sense of why that change occurred? You know some of the history about?
Yeah, I know. I guess it was Jerry Brown who signed it at the state level here. I think it was. I don't know why. I mean, it's just the progression of union power, and one thing I have one reporter who's looking into. He's gone to the archives and state archives and trying to figure out whether the decision to grant collective bargaining rights in the 70s was, how contentious was that decision? I'd be interested to see, and I don't know the answer, but those are good questions that I need to look more into the history. But sometimes, like for instance, SB 400, that was in 1999, and that was the bill that allowed these 3% and 50 retroactive pension increases. That's where a lot of people in California tie the real quickening of the pace of the pension increases to 99 and the passage of that bill. And then it got really bad after 9/11, because then the public safety unions were able to, they used that, they made us feel guilty, and they used that for an emotional pull, and that helped. But But it was SB 400 in 1999, and a lot of the people who voted for it are claiming that it was not a contentious debate, that no one knew that it would do this, and we just thought that was the easy thing to do. But it's not true, right? There were people who were warning, the California Taxpayers Association were warning. David Crane of the governor's office points out that there was a study showing the size of the unfunded pension liability that would result after SB 400, and that CalPERS hid that study, and that they played politics essentially because they wanted it to go through. Their members and their employees would get the benefits. So it's not true in that case, but I don't know, on the collective bargaining, maybe it was one step removed and people didn't realize what that would lead to. But those are good things for me to research. Anyone else? All right, well, so the basic thing is go out when you're done here with this great Berkeley education and get a government job, and then sit on your butt for 30 years. And, but anyway, kidding, of course. Thanks so much for